Yeah, hello, 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 hello. Welcome back. This is TVXYZ. This is Morning Update. Today is Tuesday, and I'm sure many of us are speaking to one particular issue. It's about what many see as the worsening cases of crime in this country. Armed robbers appear to be emboldened, and this time it is broad daylight robbery. Last week, it sounded like a rumor. We heard about the raid of a forex bureau around the police headquarters. Initially, some said it was a rumor, some said it is not true, but I've seen a publication that suggests that indeed it happened. I followed it and I've fact-checked all the details, and indeed it happened. They raided the forex bureau, fired into the air to scare people around, and managed to bolt with their booty. Yesterday, it was the sad day of a police officer and a woman who was a bystander. These people trailed the bullion van, and when they got to a safe location, they fired indiscriminately into the bullion van and got the officer killed. In fact, one of the bullets went through his head. We are not showing the images because it is not the best. This woman was pursued by these robbers because she had raised an alarm, and they fired her at close range, and she died on the spot. Another woman sustained injury, and our prayer is that this woman who is receiving treatment at the police hospital gets well soon. The bullion driver also got injured. And then we went back to revise our notes, and a lot of statements are coming out. I have one statement with me, which is a statement that was signed by the Bank of Ghana as far back as 24th of December 2020. I have another statement which was signed by the Inspector General of Police, which gave some directives to banks, and they had a June deadline to take an action. Then I went through the archives, and I came across an assurance by the Vice President of Ghana. He's the chairman of the Police Council, and this was in August 2019. And this incident was after two police officers, Lance Corporal Awal Mohammed, and one of the two police officers slain in the line of duty on Wednesday, 28th August 2019 in Kumasi. And in that statement, he made categorical pledges that they were going to procure bulletproofs, and here he says 4,500 bulletproof vests will be delivered to the police to help them stem these unfortunate incidents. And so the question is, where do we stop implementing the promises we make? The police officer is dead. I remember a police officer was shot at the duty post at Domi here in Accra, just close to the atomic area, and it became a lot of, in fact, it generated a lot of conversation. I believe that as we speak, or as I try to narrate my own opinion about what is happening to you, you are also thinking through what really is the reason why all these things are happening. Are things getting out of control? Yesterday, I listened to the minority leader who suggested that we should blame everything on the president. I don't totally agree that we should just put all the blame on the president. There are institutional heads, and these institutional heads know what they have to do. And we all know that the police service, for example, has always been saying that, oh, we are reviewing how we even give compensation packages to people who fall in the line of duty. But how much is it? And so if the IGP is now saying that, oh, we are giving you June deadline, that if banks in the country do not ensure that they have armored vehicles that should convey their currencies from one location to the other, they are not going to offer them police escort duties. I'm asking myself that, did he know that at the time the officers were being deployed to go and help the banks to escort the money, at least they could have been given helmets or they could have been given bulletproofs? And so if it didn't happen and that officer is dead, can any family member decide that somebody failed to honor his responsibility? And therefore, let us all stop the blame game by directing everything at the presidency and hold individuals responsible for whatever happens. Today, we'll spend a lot of time talking about all these things because it is not here alone. Yesterday in Kumasi, I know that the police is speaking to the killing of a woman. This woman, according to the police, was driving home in her car and the husband was following. And armed robbers or criminals killed her and she died on the spot. The husband has reported they are not aware of what really may have happened, but they suspect it could be armed robbery or contract killing. But the police says that they did not take anything from the vehicle of the woman. And there are even rumors that this is the wife of the gentleman who is a driver of a public officer who was seen counting hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you remember, before the 2020 elections, I don't know how true is it. Just recently, a teacher, a very good friend of mine, Papa Yagoman, was just arriving home after attending a training session as an enumerator for the population and housing census. Just in front of his house, he was gunned down and it became news and it's all over. And you ask yourself, why is this happening? Is it that what people have cautioned us over the years, especially security analysts, that the unemployment rate, the level of agitation, how people are being suppressed, it will get to a boiling point where things may get out of control? Just 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, we sat here and we're looking at Nigeria. Then Nigeria is not a safe country. We're talking about Boko Haram. All kinds of things were happening just next door. And we took it for granted. I don't know whether whenever we hear the police administration or the Ghana Armed Forces or the Interior Minister saying that, oh, we are doing anti-terrorism training and so on, they are just gimmicks or they have a certain interest that we don't see. Because this is the capital of the country. This is the heart of the country, Accra. And if just close to the police headquarters, this happened. And then at Kolebu, look at Jamestown. It's a one stretch, either towards Jamestown police station or through Kolebu or through Dansuman, the road that takes you to Dansuman. I'm talking about the beach road. Apart from that, you are moving towards the Kwame Nkrumah Circle. Within that enclave, could it have been possible for these suspects, even on motorbikes, to have been accosted? Now, the question is, some few years ago, there was something the police called police visibility. I may not be able to say exactly how they described it, but I remember that after the 2012 elections, and in 2013, 2014, 2015, almost every intersection, you saw a police officer, 2, 3, 4, with a police vehicle stationed. The runabout, major runabout, you go to the interchange around where President Kufuor lives or his home is, and then you go to the Tema runabout, you go to the Tema community. In fact, every part of the city, you saw policemen detailed. What happened? Because it was a major police policy. And so at what point did they stop doing this? Because the presence alone was checking motorists for careless driving, was checking criminals because they knew that if they make any move here, the next location, they will be accosted. And above all, I've seen CCTV cameras, expensive ones, sighted at almost every intersection in Accra and other cities. I am asking, are they working? If they are not working, why were they installed? Because many of these sprang up before November 2020. We are in June 2021. And if these things are happening, and the police cannot assure me and you listening to me that, look, don't worry at all. Our CCTV cameras have picked footages of these gentlemen, and therefore in the next few days we'll pick them. Then what is the essence of wasting the taxpayers' money to put those things there? I don't know whether it is for decoration of our streets. And now, if it is also working, the police needs to give me that assurance, that guarantee that, look, feel free, take your personal security serious, but be assured that we are monitoring everything that is happening. I've heard some time ago that that contract itself was embroiled in some kind of corruption, and so it is hanging. I don't know if it is true or not. But the thing is, let's be serious in this country, because we talk about fix the country. And whenever people talk about fix the country, some just narrow everything at a government, and some don't assume the fact that people are enjoying themselves in their homes, taking good care of their families because of your sweat, a taxpayer. That poor woman who was gunned down after being pursued by the police, What has that poor woman done? For walking on the street and per chance witnessing an incident, so she should die, and she has been paying taxes on daily basis. And whether you're a civil servant, a public servant, or an officer in any of our security institutions, you must understand the fact that it is somebody's sweat that is giving you the money. At least to say that you are doing something as a breadwinner of your family. Today, if you have failed to carry out your duty, you must bow your head in shame. If you are a government official, you must bow your head in shame. And again, I think that the president, as commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, these things happening don't just happen and we don't hear our president talking. By now, there should be an official statement or comment from our president, because we see it happen in other jurisdictions. And they happen, and I don't hear President Akufo-Addo speaking. I don't know whether he's happy or he's comfortable with it or he doesn't care. But the fact is, these are serious issues. I'll stop here. I'll take a break. When we come back, Abena and I will share the newspapers and what the headlines are saying with you.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Come back. I'm now smiling. The before neko from Kakrabat, Mejidi say, endum because Abena, you see, it's painful. There's a video I monitored on City TV. I want to give credit to them so that later we can share it. And I saw poor women wailing. And you can attach yourself to the feeling and what may happen to this poor woman. As for the police officer, it's sad that he's dead, because I have a brother who is an officer, so he could have been him. So anybody can die in the course of duty. But the reason why my focus is on this poor woman is that the police administration will adequately compensate and take care of the family of the slain officer. The bullion driver who got injured, I'm sure the company involved will find a way of taking care of him. But my interest is in this poor woman who may have been on the street because she's still struggling, like we all do, to find food to eat. And the masemi what no. Na me bisa de Ghana ben or when she bi wa maami or today na asemi atuni obeye bibi what aboa onu na nebusuafo anaso ebia TVXYZ should use a medium to solicit and support this family. Oh yeah,
it is. I don't pay because I mean, when I was dressing up, I heard my mom praying, and she mentioned all of these things. It's not my basa. It's really sad to see things like this happen. The police guy getting killed is also, and his head looks like a watermelon.
It's oh yeah, because you see, and when I say nipa baby frame, me say Eric, and these are people who like me, big men, ordinary people that take care of. Yeah, tell your friends at XYZ or Power, whatever, catch on them. And why will this affect my normal life? Because sometimes because I reflect BB now also I bet obin so ya mu Na sa onunti na manfru ko fientem filling stations will close in them, shops will close in them. Na daytime umpo so be a boy in shop na say shop no or estate be na a ho or a con kakra. Na nipa ni nyim so bit na moto do. I just don't know what is happening.
It's sad, Eric.
Well,
it's sad.
Let's spend time on the newspapers. Daily Post on its front page says lies of education minister exposed as his son's ex-teacher confirms he is in private JHS. And Michael Dokosi is taking on this issue. And I think that we should have an interest in it because some are saying the quality of education at the SHS level is falling. The minister has been very categorical that his son is not that old and cannot be in SHS. So that's good journalism, and we'll follow up and see what is there. Daily Graphic on its front page says safeguarding the Odo River after clearing the makeshift structures. I think the mayor of Accra, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, needs some level of commendation. They are fencing the area to ensure that people don't encroach that zone, which is very good. And so I will stop here. Now you have some few papers. We don't have much time.
Yes, I do. And most of them are reporting on the crime incidents that happened yesterday. So the Chronicle is saying that is asking if it's a crime to be a cop. Now there's been a crow killing of policemen in Accra, which obviously has shocked the nation. Also, Aboboya carrying 7 juvenile players involved in an accident where 4 are in critical condition. Again, Mali is barred from ECOWAS summit in Accra this week. As I indicated, most of the newspapers are reporting on the crime, but there's also a part where they're urging, which is the Ghanaian Times, is urging the public to donate blood to bridge the demand and supply gap. The police hospital also is crying for help. If you read the daily, the Ghanaian Times, you find out what help they need.
It will not be bad if you can go through one paragraph and share with us while I look at the Business and Financial Times. On the front page comes with a picture of the Asantehene. It says Otufo urges ADB and NDG collaboration to enhance agri-business financing, and interest payments compensation outpace revenue by 3 billion cedis in first quarter. And TOR managing director and deputy fired. CSOs question refineries long-term future. These are the exciting stories on the front page of the Business and Financial Times. You got it?
Yes, I did. It says that the police hospital in Accra is experiencing congestion, which has resulted in some patients receiving treatment on stretchers and chairs on the veranda. That is why they're asking for help.
Okay, black secret now. Say, and they pay you but
hey, I'm sure that you agree with me when I say I'm looking beautiful. And this thanks to natural mineral water, because in so number when I'm such a like it's
so cool.
It's Mr. Maji ex natural mineral water nibi and it's very cheap, it's very affordable. It's actually cheaper than the other water on the market, but that does not reduce the quality. That I can assure that and then you can make your own testimony as well. Again, black secret makeup and also and I such a medicine hair. All I need is my facial wipe and I can wipe it.
So this one is not fake.
It's not
original. Let's take a break. When we come back, Abna will tell you more.
Welcome to AutoCheck Vehicle Diagnostic and Licensing Center.
I hear my car can be checked here without going to so many hour Accra.
Sure.
Emission, check.
Alignment, check.
Brakes, check.
Visit AutoChecks at Koforidua Aquadrum Road for the roadworthiness of your vehicle, from saloon cars to heavy-duty industrial vehicles. Madam, your car is now ready for the road.
Thank you so much. AutoChecks, check.
AutoChecks, your safety, our priority.
Check, AutoChecks. If a cry na menyisika, etia ye mefui.
Ehin fa pa na menya bosia, edia tre medwuma yimu.
So good morning to you and many thanks for your company this morning. Coming up in this edition, IGP reset June deadline to banks to provide fortified armored vehicles for transporting cash or loose police escort following yesterday's sad incident. Again, hashtag Fix the Country protest goes international as government tries hard to prevent demonstrators here in Accra, and nationwide strike declared by Association of Technical University Teachers kicks off slowly. And a little later, AMA goes staff on landlords for flouting bylaws on toilet. Already 4 have been convicted and 10 more will be facing prosecution later today. You want to stay for details. Grateful that you could join us. Let's begin the stories from the yesterday's sad incident. And all banks in Ghana will fail to provide fortified armored vehicles for transporting currencies by the end of June this year, risk losing police escort. Now, this is the renewed directive follows the killing of an officer by armed robbers in a broad daylight yesterday. Now, again, the Police CID Director General is now in charge of investigations into the incident, which also led to the killing of a bystander who was pursued for raising the alarm and shot at close range. Now, the sad development has caused panic among Ghanaians over what they describe as the emboldened criminals on robbery spree.
Alleged that the bullion van carrying an unspecified amount of money was trailed by 3 armed robbers on 2 motorbikes. These armed criminals are said to have fired indiscriminately at a van belonging to Mantran Company, killing a police officer, one Emmanuel Osei of the National SWAT, on the spot after bullets went through his head. TVXYZ News has learned that the armed robbers managed to escape with their booty and an AK-47 rifle belonging to the slain officer. The robbery just around midday at Kolebu, right in the heart of Accra, also involved the death of an onlooker, a middle-aged woman who was close to the scene. She was reportedly pursued for raising an alarm and shot at close range. The victim, identified as Efua Bedu, was reportedly found in a pool of blood in a wooden structure where she tried to seek refuge. Witnesses say another woman, however, survived the attack and is receiving treatment. The driver of the bullion van, who survived, is receiving treatment at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. It is yet to be established if the police have picked any credible lead so far. Last Wednesday, 2 armed men on a motorbike broke into a forex bureau close to the police headquarters at Osu in broad daylight and bolted with a sum of money. They managed to escape, firing into the air to scare people nearby.
Now, Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu says the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, should be directly held responsible for the increase in crime wave across the country. Now, according to him, the President has failed to ensure that Ghanaians go about their daily activities without fear. Now, the Minority Leader also called for major reforms in the police and security setup, adding that the sector needs to be adequately resource. Now, meanwhile, persons with information on the attack can contact any police station or call the investigation team on 026-212-2086 or 024-499-4564 or 024-280-001. DSP Fiatenge is Greater Accra Regional Police PR.
2 persons were shot and killed instantly. The policeman on escort and also a lady whose identity the police is yet to verify. The bullion driver sustained gunshot wounds and has been sent to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital for treatment. 2 tellers who were on the bullion van escaped unhurt. The weapon of the policeman was also taken away together with a specified amount of money. The crime scene experts have been invited to process the crime scene as part of police investigations to get the perpetrators arrested. Meanwhile, anyone with information on this incident should kindly contact the Accra Regional Police Command, the nearest police station, or call police emergency numbers 191 or 18555. Further updates on this incident shall be indicated.
And that was DSP Efiating, who is the Greater Accra Regional Police Public Relations Officer. Well, Morning Update will delve more into that particular development. Well, let's turn attention to some other stories. And hashtag Fix the Country has gone viral and international, as you said. Now, Ghanaians across the world are planning series of protests as long as government continues to prevent the convenience from demonstrating here in Accra. Now, Spain is the first country, and TVXYZ News is learning that similar protest has been planned in the US and the UK.
Conveners may have succeeded in attracting national attention across the globe, but they are yet to get their wish, a planned massive demonstration in Ghana. Their first attempt was stopped by an ex parte indefinite injunction secured by the police. That has since been quashed after an appeal filed at the Supreme Court, but they still have another hurdle. The substantive case involving the police restriction order is before an Accra High Court. Yesterday, hearing was adjourned to June 21, following the late filing of documents by lawyers of the protesters. Meanwhile, Ghanaians abroad have begun planned demonstrations to register their protest against Ghanaian authorities in solidarity with Fix the Country. The first in Spain, outside Ghana's embassy, involved scores who chanted and hoist placards with inscriptions such as "Ghana Embassy is a tyrant," "Fix the Country now," "Stop corruption," "We need critical thinkers," "Stop the Chinese loans," and "Avoid generational debt." Others referred to the high rate of unemployment, the dilapidated health system, high accommodation rate, poor road networks, and general hardship. They also complained about exploiting by the Ghana Embassy in Spain for charging high fees for passports, among others.
Now, still on agitations and the strike declared by the Technical University Tutors Association took effect slowly across the country yesterday. Now, in Accra, most students say their lecturers were at post, contrary to how their other members responded to the strike in Tamale, Kumasi, and Takrady. Well, I visited the Accra Technical University, and you'll appreciate the atmosphere in my report as I visited there around midday yesterday. A strike declared by leadership of the Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana as in protest against one expiration of their working conditions agreement since 2006 after government agreed to offer same working conditions as applied to traditional universities. 2. Unpaid 2018-2019 research arrears despite numerous reminders. And 3. Non-payment of Tier 2 pension payment for TUTAG members going on retirement despite repeated unfulfilled promises, among others. But it appears members are not interested or were not adequately notified. Checks around campuses indicated mixed responses. It was not too different at the Accra Technical University where I visited, and it was surprising that campus life was normal, though TUTAG National President is a staff here. Contrary to expectations that campus will be as a ghost city, that is not happening here at the Accra Technical University. So far, students are busy moving about, some having their online lectures, others also saying that they've gone to class and that private teachers, or if you want to call it, part-time tutors have come in to have engagement with them. Well, I have some of the students here with me. Let me find out from them whether they've also been to class this morning and what the situation has been exactly. So, in which year are you? Have you been to class today?
No, I'm in second year.
You've been to class?
Yes. Obviously, we have class online, so the lecture came on class online. But face-to-face, we don't have face-to-face this year, this morning.
So it means you are not feeling the impact of the strike?
Yes, for now we are not feeling the impact, but we don't know their next decision. Maybe in the afternoon, we have some class in the afternoon. We don't know whether they'll be going to meeting and in the afternoon those lectures will not come or not.
We've already had one, and so we're waiting for the next lectures.
And your lecturer came?
Yeah, the lecturer came. He did everything all right.
Is he a permanent lecturer? Is he a part-time lecturer?
He's a permanent lecturer.
Yeah, we have sessions ongoing. I'm a computer science student, level 200. Yeah.
The strike declared by TUTAG nationwide is gradually taking effect. And here at the Accra Technical University, it has appeared that the students are divided. While some have gone to class, others say they are yet to attend their lectures. But some lecturers already have gone to class to have engagement with the students. It is day one of it, and we hope as time goes on, the NLC and the institutions that matter will come in and make things better for the student. Well, we'll still stay in the capital. This time, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, AMA, is going tough after landlords who still fail to provide toilet facilities for their tenant. Now, prosecution have begun, and 10 more are going to face Villa Magistrate Court later this morning.
As far back as 2013, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly issued a directive to all households and landlords to provide adequate toilet facilities for tenants. It also cautioned against extensions made without same access. In 2016, the AMA again began an initiative to absorb 50% of the cost of toilets designed for areas that have limited access to water and provide a safe, non-polluting solution. The Greater Accra Metropolitan Area Sanitation and Water Project also included the construction of traditional concrete septic tanks to serve as containment and treatment plant for waste from flush toilets and Kumasi ventilated improved pit KVIP latrines. Again, in 2019, the Mayor of Accra, Mohamed Ejay Sowa, expanded the initiative to provide toilets to poor communities. 52 households within Gamashi benefited. In spite of all these initiatives, some landlords in Accra are still recalcitrant. Few days ago, the La Magistrate Court convicted 4 landlords for their refusal to construct household toilets for tenants. They were fined between 480 to 600 cedis each. AMA's Director of Public Affairs, Florence Kuchi, explains why the Assembly is chasing them. She says 10 more due for court today.
Upon the inspection, some were going by the guidelines, some were not going. So as it stands, today is 13th. Tomorrow, we are sending 10 public toilet operators to La Court for defaulting the guidelines given to them to handle the toilet facility. Though we are by the beach side, but we want the beaches, all houses around the beaches should have toilets. The beach is not a toilet facility.
Meanwhile, the AMA says hashtag Make Accra Work Again is on course with an extension, Operation Clean Your Frontage. She says a task force will be deployed to enforce name and shame persons found culpable.
The AMA bylaw section 5, subsection 2B states that if you have a property, it is your duty to clean your frontage, your side, your back, so that at the end of the day, every place will be neat. You don't have to sit there and say because you pay a tax, you will not clean. No, everybody must clean. And we are coming into the system. The education has gone down well. What we are doing is we are enforcing the law, be it that we are even going to let people clean their frontage instantly or pay a fine. We will do it. And we are going to name and shame people who are going to be recalcitrant to these things.
Now, within the AMA, we still stay there because fisher folks in the Jamestown enclave say the decision to ban fishing for 2 months is painful, especially because government is not spelling out any alternative measures to cushion them. The enforcement of the annual close season forms part of efforts to address the dwindling fish stock in Ghana's territorial waters. Per the notice by the Fisheries Commission, all fishing operators to berth at port, anchorage or at the various landing beaches before the midnight of June 30, 2021. The 2 months ban take effect on July 1 to August 31. During the period, both artisanal and industrial fishing fleet in Ghana are expected to be grounded. The ministry has not announced any compensation package to cushion those who shall be directly affected, especially when they depend solely on fishing for their livelihood. This concern cut through concerns raised by those likely to be directly affected at some of the beaches TVXYZ News visited. At Jamestown, some lamented about their plight and questioned what has changed from 2020 when the ban was deferred because of the coronavirus pandemic, as government explained.
Wula cheme le ke ame she ba bia ke ebie na me ya wu sika ha me kolo ebie na me ya wu wula cheme ebie na me ya wu sika ha me kolo ah we ko lo ke jang men show me ni man be slaves you o me no tun ni show na slaves you e ka ban me just like that no one you afi na kan
ba o me so ba ye ba trauma e ka che na kwa ba o me ba so ye ba trauma o ye am ponchi time so nga stand ye tun ma ba obi
COVID ye be ye bra papa you school fees am university mpani anya nanto manyimpa yes can you tell about your school fees they say about opumi opumi te ba chenyan COVID na ban the whole world maybe I say this is what opumi ba dey busy and I want opumi mpunya bi nzi nka ka yes what opumi ba dey busy nsa ba your son na nado ma me people ni ba me sanala opuntum ni da fa ka na isia na wa to opuni mu.
Experts say beyond the close season, Ghana Navy and the Marine Police must intensify their patrols to stop illegal fishing methods, including use of small-sized mesh net, light fishing, poison and toxic chemicals, as well as explosives. And before we go, Ghana goes hunting for vaccines, and Foreign Affairs Minister Shirley Ayokoboche is pleading for calm as government continues to exploit its diplomatic relations to procure enough vaccines. Now she was responding to a question when she briefed the media about Ghana's election to serve on the UN Security Council. And that pretty does it for this morning's edition of News in Brief on Morning Update. As always, do log on to my xyzonline.com for more, as you also log on to our social media platforms at TVXYZ Ghana across all social media platforms. My name is Wisdom Hedejume. Good morning.
We are one man short. Should we invite him?
Yeah.
It be old cargo.
Can I join you guys?
Yeah.
Always drink fresh, natural eggs, mineral water.
Still got it. Always keep hydrated naturally. That's my secret.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Andra, I'm robbery so ewo krom hanum say as I'm sitting here I'm shaking makuma boom 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 because Andra me who videos no me who pictures no me who police before and after. Now baby say who say then so where is Ghana heading towards? I have friends from foreign countries who always say Ghana is a peaceful country. Just recently, your president called Spain asking for investors to come and invest in here because Ghana is a peaceful country. So what is happening? What is going wrong? I know say Anope, Erica Kasa Bebre, Alpha incident no, but I'll touch on it a little bit. It says that robbers they fired indiscriminately and shot a policeman on escort duty and killed him instantly. A woman of about 30 years, who is yet to be identified, was also shot and killed whilst she was in her shop. The driver of the bullion van also sustained gunshot wounds and is currently receiving treatment at the police hospital, while a woman who is a teller on the bullion van has also been taken to the same hospital to be treated for trauma. I wasn't there, but just watching and reading the news items that have come out on the incident also makes me feel say I'm in some sort of trauma because How are robbers getting so confident? Because this seems to be one of the major operations that they have done and succeeded. Because till now, we haven't even heard, say, how much you'll be. I know that the police have mounted barriers, checkpoints, etc. And they're saying that it wouldn't affect our movement. But till now, we still haven't heard anything. And sometimes you hear when it comes to security talks, say, Obira, and I say armed robbery cases happen now within the first 24 hours or even worse 48 hours and I said they are not able to identify the suspects. It's difficult to be able to get them or grab them. Now, Anope, a lot of questions are playing on my mind. I don't want to even narrow the conversation towards the Ghana police force, and I say they are just the Ghana security agencies, even our own personal securities. How well are we taking this security protocols that we are supposed to put in place? I talk to a lot of security officers because where I work, there are lots of companies around. So, hey, hi, how are you? There was a time about and say, oh, Nana say, dear, you this month, I won't be more. And I say, oh, nothing. Or say, maybe start here, Juman, or say, Mr. Tia. After some time, to me pay me pacho. I am saying these things because me can't ACB so. Or say, uniform a Michelle. Miana, midimi sika, esaya de eto the boka Christmas, omuntia yeka, ebeba January. Christmas packaging so ba, yenyabi. Where you would think, say, it's just a personal thing or a personal security. But if you have followed trends, you would realize also, say, this is another thing that happens generally when it comes to Ghana security as well. Their work is between life and death. But I feel like we don't actually take good care of them. A lot of times people insult police people anyhow. Oh, they will now oh, the police need nothing because we're now. But he is doing his work. He is doing his job. These people constantly put their lives on the line. But they are less motivated. We do not respect them. But there was nowhere for him to go. How well do we handle our security personnel? How well do we handle our security agencies? I'm not paying so ex-security officer Kasana Bissan say more joining security companies now. Do they give you any form of training? Because a number of times security now be home. It's about me who have been crime say and I say where them crime to me bono Korea baby with your semi idea me person me Korea baby or honoma. And all catch me say, your mom training kakra bi. Ebia say, obi tutua, say na obesi aye obe dodge a tuo na fa. Ana say, obi di a tuo bows wa, say na obesi a dodge. And I'm beside say, ana yen chrem say ne bia, a tuo ni benwa, obeti ni aje, a tuo ne friend is also oh there be a tuo ni crying for being a training. How many times have you seen a security personnel na okita weapon? None. And also, so no, apparently, check area now, de wo kono, and sana, who say be bema utuo, and I say ma utuo. But in this day and era, him say, robbers, no, they don't really have a map. Say, and it happens at any given point in time. And it's not just about me coming to sit here and rant. Make us out, because where the nation is heading towards, it's becoming critical. On the BA road, this same incident happened. Bullion van, it was attacked. Now saying North Quine, so and also so a bus was attacked. Military personnel be a woman or also was killed. A lot of incidents have happened. And someone say unemployment say I'm sorting it out. And the near be say is that what is happening as we speak? Yani security analyst Richard Commodore Ebekasa na bisa and sembi and so na ya say bia. By the time you know Ebekasa be no and near be ebe clearer and but before ansana menene Ebekasa no incidents na see and me pese wan kasa and near my course so our environment ne ho no. Video ya Moshe City TV Adaruma and I yetimi etremo video no. As I indicated earlier, no, we will talk to a security analyst Richard Commodore. Na ye bisa and NSMB na ya share senya enyema elko. This is not to discredit the police, but there is a first question I would like to ask him. Hello, good morning. Hello, Richard, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Abina.
Richard, how are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome. So with all that is happening, the armed robbery cases, especially what has happened yesterday, do you think that the police is overwhelmed?
Definitely, I will not disagree with you because this particular trend is becoming one of many. And not just the police who are overwhelmed, the citizens are overwhelmed. Everybody is worried because we are not able to find a permanent solution to it. It will be responsibility or irresponsibility on our side to go home and sleep and thinking everything is all right. I agree with the IGP, the sweetness of the letter he issued and the content of the letter. I think we must rise up, particularly those in charge of law enforcement, to be able to nip this in the bud. It's becoming one of many.
Right. Now, the CCTV cameras we have, what are they doing? Are they even functioning the way we expect them to?
Security is not CCTV. If you look at advanced country, I've stayed in London for years, I've traveled extensively. A CCTV camera is a monitoring device, and intelligence gathering monitoring can be done manually or automatically. So that is just one little tool you have put out there. It's not even a major issue, a major instrument when it comes to intelligence gathering or investigations. Right. What we need to do is to place the right men at the right places at the right time. And when people have offended the laws of our land and they are apprehended, no punishable of crime is what is rationalizing the behavior of some other people. It is a time we all wake up, particularly those who responsibility of maintaining law and order and ensuring security compliance has been placed in their hands.
Right. Now, Richard, how do you think we can boost our security systems? And I'm not just limiting this to the police force. I'm also extending it to our personal security, company securities, etc.
No, when you look at the nature of the bullion van, it's nothing to write home about. This particular trend is occurring because the criminals have studied the nature of the bullion vans, the mode of moving the money, and the instruments we use in terms of the total number of policing. They will need to have a meeting as stakeholders again and look at it again, benchmark what is happening elsewhere. Now, The IGP and the Interior Minister complained recently about a high level of gun crimes in this country. We have issue with small arms. Once the police are not able to arrest people and prosecute them, it also forces the individuals to arm themselves. And we are heading into the gadget. What we must be doing is that let the police who are the front lines come to the fore when they are being needed. Then again, the state itself must look at their recruitment processes again and the amount or the number of logistics, equipment, the supply, particularly to those in front fighting crime in this country.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned fighting crime in this country and with regards to the police. What do you think the police is lacking? Because I realized that the policeman was not even with a helmet. He only had a cap on. And I don't know if he had a bulletproof on, but I didn't see that when I saw the dead body. So what are some of the challenges that you think the police is facing when it comes to combating crime?
Today, I'm speaking to you, helping my nation and humanity because somebody trained me and somebody passed on skill on to me. Anytime crime occurs, we only say, where's Kofi Boakye? The whole police service, where's Kofi Boakye? Where's Kofi Boakye? Would they not let Kofi Boakye institute a program at the core field Kofi Boakye's style of fighting crime so that he will pass on skill on to the people? The way we are recruiting the people and the way we are training them is a major issue. A guy who sits on defense and interior in parliament, a senior member, complained just last week about the nature of recruitment we have in this country. We are not recruiting properly. We are not training properly. And once the recruitment process is flawed, the outcome will be flawed. The police know what is wrong with the system, and they have to be bold enough to fix it. Because we as law enforcement agencies, irrespective of whichever party we vote for, Ghana is our political party. And until the police will rise up and be non-partisan and work within the ranks, place the right men at the right places, make sure trainings are done for skills to be transferred, and stop the partisan politics, you're going to have some of these issues in the street.
Right. Now, when you say that the recruitment process is faulty, what are your suggestions towards that?
You see, when I was going to enter the Ghana, we were more than thousands who started the process. After 3 years of background checks, they still qualify for it. Today, we have political police, we have protocol police, and we have proper police. People are even recruited into the police, and the police have no idea who these people are. It doesn't work like that. The processes must work. The procedures must work. Proper training must happen. Transfer of skills must happen. We know people. It's not a major issue with the police. They might not even have the full spectrum of the resources they have. But deploying the right people to the right places is also a major problem for them in achieving strategic security compliance objectives. There are people who work within the crime scene department who we have traveled this whole country with, but sometimes sending them to the scene to deal with the issues is a major problem. And I think these overwhelming situations will need to take people back to the drawing board and say, where are we doing wrong? Let us improve it. And where we are doing right as police and law enforcement agencies, let's enhance it. And Ghana will be the better place. Otherwise, their integrity is on the line and people are calling for heads to rule.
Right. Now, do you think that the spike of unemployment is contributing to what we're experiencing now? I'm not an expert, and so I can't say for sure if that's the case.
Definitely. Don't be afraid to say, you don't need a prophet to say that unemployment is a major issue. Pressure is also one. When you look at the fraud triangle, pressure comes, and you know where this pressure comes? Social media shows certain lifestyle that people want to live. Politicians, by their behavior, live a fake lifestyle, and people want to copy that one. Then the pressure in the pockets of the people. Unemployment is a major issue all over the world. We as a nation will need to be seen as people who are doing something about it. And I said government must look within. Let us be more creative in the productive spaces. You see, when the financial sector was cleaned up, a lot of jobs were taken from the people. We can rerun around it and say, we have cleaned up the financial sector, but let's go into some other areas of production and manufacturing that gives jobs to these young people. And we can reduce many of these issues on the ground. And look at it. The nature of crime and the methodology they are using is new to us in Ghana. So that means that some other foreigners are infiltrating into our system. It is time for the intelligence community to wake up from slumber and begin to do what they are paid to do. Because once the intelligence community is sleeping, the police will have limited intelligence to move. And that is also contributing to the lack of intelligence. And the modus of operandi of these guys shows that they are one step ahead of the police. And that is why the element of surprise is going against it.
Right. Now, as citizens, how do we protect ourselves from these types of situations?
Now, we will need to be diligent. Don't open your mouth. Keep your mouth shut on sensitive issues. Don't be displaying your words anyhow. Then also ensure that your security environment is secure. You can speak to security consultants or ensure that we come to your house and ensure that your environment is secure. We can also say that because we are paying tax to the police, we need the police to come to our aid when we needed them the most. Otherwise, everybody is at stake, not even the people who think they have bodyguards around them.
Right. Before you leave me, we've realized that every time the bullion vans are moving, it's about 1 or 2 police forces. And this is not the very first time this incident is happening. What should the bank be considering at this point?
No, this one is Montra. So this is a private company that the banks have outsourced cash services to. And due diligence on third parties who work within the banking area, we need to look at it again. The ICT says that you either improve by June ending or withdraw our men. And it is an issue for the banking association to look at because these are third-party services they have outsourced. And when you are coming to these services as a third party, we will need to look at the skills and say that you have the requisite skills, you have the logistics that match the job we are coming to do, and you have equipment that will ensure safety and security of both the personnel and the operation itself. What do we do? We sign contracts with people, Ghana as usual. We never check any of these things, and you see lives have been lost. Today, it is a police officer, so the police people are rising to the occasion. I only hope and pray that when it is about the ordinary person, they will come with the same force and the same speed, and Ghana will be a better place for it.
Right. Still on the bullion drivers. Now, are you aware of the training they take them through before they employ them, or it's just a matter of you know how to drive, so you have the job?
Definitely, to the extent that they are coming at the attack and they are not able to defend themselves. It means that there's a deficiency in the level of training. To the extent that the police are not able to fight back, it means that, you see, bodyguarding and being assigned to a bullion van, they are the same thing. And
hello, Richard, are you there? Right. So we have been speaking to security expert Richard Komado, and he said a lot. He has said a lot. Some of them, I'm sure you heard, even as a company, you've heard something. Fatu Koto Jim, and peace and security, you and I have to do it together. The government can't do it alone for us. And Mr. Sherman, let's protect our lives and try to keep safe in these difficult times that we are facing. I want to send out sympathies to the family of the bereaved, the police officer, and my name is Nana Abna Sewa. This has been the social segment on the morning update. I was going to say Richard. Eric Ahianyo is on standby.
I love makeup. Applying it gives me so much joy. But when it's time to take it off, nothing does the job quite like the Black Secret Makeup Wipes. When I go somewhere and I feel really sweaty, I take my Black Secret wipe and I use it on my face. It picks me up and I don't look as tired as I did when I walked in.
Before I work on a client's face, I like to go over it with Black Secret Makeup Wipes to make sure the face is clean. It doesn't leave the face dry and tight, but it keeps it soft and moisturized.
Wipes say your bodo. Bakope, and it gets the job done. Or baby, and the smell makes the experience even better.
Masa, tam Maria, because we could see I am no more but born again. Have a beer, you can be Aha! HD logo the bottom. Where they say HD local channels na mo and so pictures near clear. They are 5 times better. As other channels that could be show hormone. So go to mention one time miracle why. Oh, what the pictures. What a picture! What do AD plus decoder or multi TV and now natural agent PR natural local channels now HD the here so better star 879 hash numbers from your box and now you activate AD channels now. You can
get an HD Plus decoder from now till the 9th of August for just $89.99 Ghana cedis and enjoy 3 months free subscription. Enjoy all the excitement and live sports action in the HD Plus Air Bosso Feely promo. Promo lasts from 7th June to 9th August 2021. Visit hd-plus.com.gh or call 024-243-9872 for more info.
Half a nose for good things.
If I cry na menyisika, edia ye mefui.
Ehin fa na menya bosia, edia tre medjuma yimu.
Kai kra mabre, mi yebusia ato taxi fufu. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yemamwa kwa baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ye won hyehyɛ ahodoɔ bi te sɛ dwadifo abosia, ekuokuro bosia, susu account, and it does all savings account. Me bada chain savings account, and the keka ho. Press Suhum Rural Bank was 03422919896. Na won so what to me aka say.
Suhum Rural Bank. Ama ene mayeka una.
Suhum Rural Bank. Enti mepa minie.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Welcome back. This is TVXYZ. And again, you are also following us on YouTube and Facebook. All you have to do is to look for TVXYZ on YouTube, like us, share the links with your friends so that they can also join this conversation. And again, you can send your text messages via WhatsApp 0556-999-999. This morning, I'm in the studio with Awudu Mahama. He's the editor of the Custodian newspaper. Awudu, you are welcome.
Thank you.
And then Aziz is the former MP for Myong, Mohammed Aziz. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Good. We are continuing the conversation on security issues. They matter to us. And of course, they matter to every agency. Abena's conversation focused on the police service. She extended it to private security and your personal security. But we want to look at institutional failure and perhaps what government should have been doing by now, or if we just pay lip service and we don't prioritize security. I'm saying this because I made reference to an incident in 2019. And when that incident happened, the vice president addressed the media. And in that address, he said, and I want to be very specific here, he announced that 4,500 bulletproof vests have been delivered to the police to help stem this unfortunate incident. Now, I want to make reference to one specific issue and paragraph here in this publication. It says, lamenting on the situation where 5 unarmed police officers have been killed by the criminals last month. And this was 2019. 5. And that was August when he was speaking. And the promise was made. 4,500 bulletproof vests may not be enough for the entire police service. But the question is, what seems to be going wrong? I chanced on this video yesterday. It is about a South African bullion van which was attacked while it was on the highway. First of all, there was a dash cam which was recording everything inside the car, and you will see the rest in this short video. Very, very short, but you learn lessons from it. So I studied the video, and you see the action, and you see that the bullion van driver is in vest. And then you also notice that he's very, very careful on the road. So he's not just driving. He's monitoring everything along the road. And you will soon notice when the attack came, and you realize that they are protected inside the van. And the police officer is in his seatbelt, and you see the moment when they will take out the gun, cock it, and get ready to deal with the robbers. And of course, it was a highway, and so you would notice that as they drive along, they don't just stop because there's a bang on the vehicle. They make sure they go to a safe location. The driver is really scared. So you can see that now the car is still trying to stop them on the highway. I'm sure by now they've shot the tires, and very soon, when they get to a safer place, you realize that they will emerge. And the driver himself is a trained security officer. You realize later that he would take the gun, the M16, and then get out. By that time, the robbers would have escaped. And so that's how this video narrates what South Africa has done, because crime rate in South Africa is very high. I don't know whether we are now realizing that crime rate is high, and that is why now we want to think ahead. The fact is, we feel like everything is normal. I would do.
Yeah.
You saw the short video.
Yeah.
Maybe if we are taught 2 years ahead, 3 years ahead, and enforced what the IGP is asking banks to do today, that poor soul would have been saved. But that really wouldn't have concluded that it is entire security protection of foolproof for every Ghanaian.
Good morning to viewers, and let me say very big condolence to the police officer, the family of the police officer, and also the lady who was shot. And yesterday was a sad day for those families. And I understand some time ago, BOG, Bank of Ghana, actually issued a directive to banks.
Yes, I have the statement.
Yes.
You'll be talking.
Yes,
I will
issued a
read
directive to
portions
banks
if you
on
permit
how
me.
to transport money.
Yeah.
But I think the banks have not listened. They have not obeyed those directives. What we see banks use in carrying what we say are bullion vans in this country are actually pickups, fabricated pickups that they go and do, and these are the vans that carry money, which is not, these are not bullion vans. The only bank that uses bullion vans in this country is Bank of Ghana. You see them, you see their bullion vans, these blue cars, armored cars. And that's what we should be using as a country. I don't see why we still cut money by those with those pickups that we call bullion vans. That is not safe. Now we have lost a young police officer. He's a recruit, somebody who has been in service for not long ago, and he's gone. And that is not good for the security of this country. It's about time we rethink. This is an example of, as you said, crime rate is very high in South Africa, and they have thought ahead, and this is what they are doing. What have we been doing? The vice president you just mentioned talked about bulletproof vests. I want to find out whether when this bank wanted to procure the service of the police, whether they actually went through the process and who were the lines of chain command, and how was he...
You will continue your conversation,
Okay.
but you made reference to the Bank of Ghana directive, which was signed on the 24th of December 2020.
Yes.
Now, if you look at that statement, what I find very surprising, because we have seen crime and attacks on bullion vans, and it reads that following the Bank of Ghana's meeting with cash operators operations managers of banks held on Thursday, 15th October, Bank of Ghana has hereby directed all deposit money banks and specialized deposit-taking institutions to acquire armored-plated bullion vans for its cash operations. The above directive is a result of the spate of armed attacks during cash-in transit activities leading to the loss of lives, currency, and destruction of sophisticated equipment, which has become a national security concern. Now, the tail end talks about something that is very funny. It says, but further directives that all DMBs, that's deposit money banks and SDIs, should comply with the above directive by 1st of July 2023, after which Bank of Ghana will not admit any soft-skin CIT vehicle into its premises. So you give them 3 years.
The fact of the matter is that it's an immediate directive that you should do. This is an immediate directive. That is what you have to enforce. But up to 2013, if you don't have 2023, if you don't have that one, you may not, be allowed.
But the bank also talks about has become a national security concern.
That is why.
Go ahead with
that is why I'm saying that the directive was given, and it behoves the banks to actually comply with this with immediate effect, because you are cutting money. And the lives are involved. Your currencies are involved. Your money, huge sums of money are involved. Why will you not protect lives and your cash? So this is a failure on the part of the banks. And I think that the probably because of, as you said, the deadline that they have given 2023, it has given them a leeway that we still have up to 2023 to enforce this directive. But this directive should have been immediate. That 6 months' time, you should be able to procure. How much does it cost to a whole bank to procure a bullion van? A proper bullion van.
Okay, so let me go to Aziz for your opening remark. This may not be a surprise, but happening in Accra in broad daylight after a similar incident which didn't result in death but close to the police headquarters just some 5 days ago. Last week, I'm sure you heard about this robbery attack on Forex Bureau. How does it come to you?
Good morning to you. Good morning to my co-panelists, and good morning to our viewers. It's a very worrying development that we should be dealing with. As a country, our security is one issue that we should be very serious about. And it is true that the security situation in this country is worsening, and that we must admit and be able to fashion out ways and means to be able to deal with it. If you read all the reports, even the reports coming from the Ghana Police Service themselves, it will tell you that violent crime is on the increase. The U.S. Embassy has issued a report on the issue of crime for the year 2020, and it's very clear in that report that crime is on the increase. And government must be up and doing in dealing with the issue of security, because the most useless government across the globe should be able to provide or protect lives and properties. If you cannot protect lives and properties, eventually there's nothing you can do for your citizens. And so government must be up and doing. And we should also avoid the possibility or the tendency to politicize such an important matter. But let us speak to the issues as they are. You just gave the story of an attack at a forest bureau somewhere last week, where armed robbers had to attack a forest bureau just very opposite to the police headquarters. One would have assumed that that would have been an area that no armed robber, no criminal would venture to rob. But it happened in broad daylight. And robbery is not something new in this country. But we are getting worried because of the increasing levels and numbers that we are seeing. The broad daylight robbery that we are seeing, that is where the worry is coming from. I mean, we've had robberies for God knows how long. But the levels, the manner that the criminals are carrying out their activities is what we are worried about. And even the issue, besides the issue of the robbery that you referred to opposite the Ghana Police Headquarters, even the Nima Police Station was attacked. Nima Police Station. In fact, very adjacent to the private residence of the president. That police station was attacked by criminals.
So, what could be the reason why crime, which used to be in the middle of the night, all of a sudden seem to be very active during the day? What is emboldening these criminals?
It's a very complex issue. It's a very complex issue. Today you are talking about illegal arms and weapons in the system. In fact, there's a report that says that we have more than 2 million illegal arms and weapons in the system. These are weapons in the hands of people that they have not gone to register, and they use these weapons to commit crime. And so we must be dealing with the issue of illegal arms, even the illegal arms too. We are told that the report from the Small Arms Commission, about 1.2 arms are registered in Ghana. Only 40,000 of them gets renewed every year. What it means is that people have gone to buy those arms, they have gone to register them, and then the following year, just like your driving license, they don't go to renew them. Whether those arms are still in their possession or they have found themselves in the hands of wrong people or not, we don't know. And so we must be dealing with the issue of illegal arms. We must be funding the Small Arms Commission to do a better work than they are doing now.
Is that not just lip service statistics that we hear every now and then? I will not be surprised that the security analyst will be speaking to the same issue, because we are aware that just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there were media reports of cache of arms that were secretly imported into this country.
Exactly.
And as we speak, we don't have any record of where they have been sent.
Exactly.
And so could be a reason why these things are happening.
I agree with you. So apart from the fact that some people would acquire them illegally, some people would not register them, they would not renew them, there's some level of state complicity. When I talk of state complicity, you just talked about who all saw those arms when they arrived in Ghana. No one knows where they are today. Government has not spoken to it. And we must be worried. No, you see, we needed to know that who imported them, for what purpose, where are they now? Because those arms were imported into this country. We have no evidence that those arms have been sent out of this country. And so we can reasonably assume that those arms are with us. Where are they? Are they within officialdom? Are they with individuals? Are they registered? Are they part of those that they are using to commit these crimes? We must be interested in those issues.
That's your opening remark. I'll come back to you. You had a few reservations, I guess.
My understanding was that the importer was known and it was a licensed importer. I don't know why the issues cropped up at the port at the time, but it was later discovered that the person was a licensed importer who brought guns into the country. But apart from that, let's look at the whole issue of security in this country. Look, we have sophisticated type of crime that is creeping into the country. And it's about, let's look at cross-border crime. Look, if you look at our neighboring countries, these are countries that are insecure. Just recently, we saw what happened in Burkina Faso. And terrorists are actively engaged in Burkina Faso. And these people easily cross into the country. So how are we policing on our borders to prevent these people from coming into the country? And even recently, there was this police visibility in the country initiated by IGP Al-Hassan. What has happened to that? Look, that time you walked into every 2 meters, or just say a roundabout police, how do you call it? You see police people around in town, everywhere. The visibility of police was everywhere. And that helped in scaring away criminals. That has vanished. What has happened to the police visibility? We talked about highway robbery some time ago. It was so rampant, and there was this operation Come Live. I don't see how, and look at what is happening on our highways. What has happened to it? So the security of this country must be paramount to everybody. And those in charge of security should be up and doing. Look, you cannot do anything in this country without security, peace and security. So if you don't have security, you cannot do anything. Everything that you do, you will be dependent on security of the state.
But
and that is
where are we failing? I made reference before you joined the conversation that around 2013, 2014, 2015, it was common to see police officers at almost every intersection.
That's what I was saying, visibility of the police. It's initiated by IGP Alasan.
We didn't have CCTV cameras as we see today in Accra.
Yes.
And so if they even have been replaced by CCTV cameras, are they functioning? And are we making mockery of ourselves by just flashing some of those things?
The reason why you need police visibility, not just CCTV cameras. CCTV cameras are after action programs. The action will have taken place. You then go and look at the CCTV to see the people involved. That's not how it should operate. CCTV camera should rather be backup to visibility of the police that we talk about. So that if you have police all over the place and there's an action, for instance, what happened yesterday, if there were police people, armed police people around that vicinity, and this happened, you think that they would not have been able to chase the robbers in a way? That's what we are talking about. CCTV cameras are good, but those ones, yes.
With you, but in the context that we are discussing, there's countless a plethora of instances where the police have even gone to attack. The armed robbers have even gone to attack a police station. I just referred to that one.
No, but the one,
Nima.
It was not inside the police station. No. It was around the precinct. You were mentioning the police headquarters one. It was they went to attack Forest Blue. Yes, but
and
that
so
was
one
not,
would assume that.
What you said, somebody would have said that they attacked the police station itself. That's what some people assume.
No, we all made it very clear that it was opposite the police headquarters. One would have assumed that, look, you have the police headquarters there, you have the prison service office there, you have most of the important institutions in this country there. One would have assumed that would be an area that no criminal would want to venture into. And so we are looking at the boldness of
yes, that's what I'm saying. Now we have sophisticated crime now. I am talking of cross-border crime. Look,
I listened to the minority leader yesterday, and he says that we must put the blame squarely at the doorstep of the president because he has reneged on his authority to ensure that the right things are done.
Yes.
Do you support that?
I do. You see, the first part of my
I'll come back to you.
The first part of my submission had to do with the issue of arms and how they contribute to these violent crimes. The other issue has to do with the leadership, political leadership. And so when we say that, look, you cannot extricate the issue of development, crime from governance. They are intertwined. Now, when you have a situation where the Ghana Police Service is more interested in carrying out issues that are politically related, inviting political opponents to the ruling party to police station every day, let me tell you something. The national chairman of the NGC, Ofosu Ampofo, has been to court for more than 52 times. The police are unable to dispose of the case in court. You have a situation where every day, it is one political figure or the other who they are interested in. They spend more time and more of their efforts in restraining people from demonstrations. If they had applied a quarter of these efforts that they put into political related issues, into protecting myself and you, I'm sure we would have been much, much safer than we are. We are talking of a situation where there's ample evidence that party boys who were used to do party operations in the run-up to the 2016 elections, most of them have found their way into our national security
but they have not committed this crime.
No, you see, you don't know. You have no evidence to that. What I'm saying is that when you recruit such people into national security, when you recruit such people into Ghana Police Service, when you recruit them into the Ghana Armed Forces, you are creating trouble for all of us. These are people who don't have the desire, the interest in the work. They are just interested in the money, and they use their uniform to perpetuate crime. We must be worried about all these things. Recently, after the Ayawasu by-election blues,
We will go into that, but let's narrow the conversation on this particular incident, and then
I thought we were looking at the issue
we'll look at it.
Of security.
We are graduating.
Let me just land here.
We are graduating.
I agree with
so you land, and
let me just land here.
Respond, and then we move on.
You have a commission chaired by a respected statesman in this country. They recommend to the president to restructure our national security apparatus because there's so much confusion. You don't know who is in charge of what. Okay? That has not been done up to date. We spend money on that commission. In fact, one of the recommendations of that report was to prosecute a gentleman who was seen in a video slapping a sitting member of a parliament. The commission recommended for his prosecution. The president of this land, who is a lawyer, says that we will not prosecute him because some judge provoked him. And so when you provide them with that protection and shielding...
Aziz, I want us to situate the issues well. What you are saying are facts, but we are looking at armed robbery, we are looking at the failure of the police service as an institution, we are looking at government as a structure that should perhaps resource them, and where things are perhaps going wrong, because people have even mentioned unemployment rates going up. People even say because of the attack on the Galamsey activities, some of the remnants could come to town and cause this confusion. We leave that to the security experts. But I know, I would do. Yes. I know that just recently, the police said they had even retooled their men with motorbikes, with bicycles, with scooters and so on, and would have thought that these would be visible, unlike what we saw before.
Before I come to that, when we started this program, Honorable was saying that we should not politicize this issue of security, national security, and I agreed with him. But it's weird. He's reneged on his own pledge. Look, he said that he was not.
Let him speak.
I kept quiet. I kept quiet when you were talking, Honorable.
I'm just trying to get you proceed.
He was on a police that what they do is to hunt political opponents, and he just mentioned only one, national chairman. How many police people escort him to the so-called that he talked about? He spoke about party people being employed in national security. Look, I have personally said this all over and over again. NDC MPP has been a problem of this country with regards to national security. When they come to power, they all recruit party foot soldiers into national security. And you know what they do? They just put these people there. Some go to Mokola or some place to get fake voters, and they walk around in town claiming to be national security. And they use taxpayers' money to pay them on table. They are not even integrated into national security, so-called. These party foot soldiers, national security has become a breeding ground for foot soldiers. MPP and DC governments, they've been doing it over the years. And when they recruit them into the service, you see them walking around, claiming to be national security, and that is the problem we have. So when you are talking of recruiting party soldiers, it's not synonymous with one political party. Both MPP and DC are involved in this. And I have personally kicked against that. Look, you cannot do your security by employing party foot soldiers into national security. That's not how you manage national
let's
security.
walk into the substantive issue.
The substantive issue about this, you say motorbikes and all that. Look, motorbikes are good. You even look at the type of motorbikes we procure for the police. Are they the motorbikes that can actually chase armed robbers? Are they the motorbikes? The few motorbikes that were used, that are bought over the years, have been used to give, how do you call it, escort to officials, public officials and those who have money to hire them. That's what we use the escort, the motorbikes for. Look, if you want to be, I agree with you that if you are president of this country, the security of this country should be your number one priority. And that's why I think that let's look at how we learn from these incidents that are happening in broad daylight. How do we structure our security that will be able to fight this kind of crime? Look, we should have proper security. You don't need to. Look, all these people, party foot soldiers and so-called security people, what if they are well educated, well trained? These are people that should be in town. Intelligence. monitor movement of criminals and how they communicate and all that. But we don't do intelligence in this country. What we do sometimes is machoism. You see macho people parading on the streets as security people. That's not how to first century security.
So where should we lay this blame? Should we blame the police service? Should we blame government? Because you have already blamed the bank. But somebody must take the ultimate
First of all, I ask a question, whether in this particular instance, whether the police officer was properly engaged, whether the bank actually consulted the high command, and this police officer was released to them. Because we have seen even private people go to police, get police officers to protect them. So that if this person was properly released, this police officer was properly released, the officer released him, how come he didn't have a protection vest? And how come when the billion van was moving, there was no backup? Look, in any civilized society, when you have money moving, you should, with a so-called billion van that I describe as a pickup with some covering. That's not a billion van. You don't even have a backup plan that this car is moving. There's also some security behind it, so that when something happens, they are able to come to the aid of the billion van. That's what we should be doing. You see this and so what is even worrying is that when these pickups move with the money, they also increase the siren, ping pong, and they even attract the criminals on the street to them when they don't even have any protection, backup plans to protect them.
Several pledges have been made. The IGP says Police CID Director General take over. Some say it is just cosmetic. The police IGP again says that by June, if you don't get some bullion vans or whatever, you will not give you the escort that you need from us. And then we also know that the victims must have some form of compensation. There are 3 victims here, or let me say 4. The bullion van driver, the woman who was a bystander who was killed. Then we have another woman who got injured, who may be traumatized in the hospital by now, and the police officer who died. How do we compensate them?
We've all been in this country. We know the Ghana we are talking about. It is lip service. The reaction of the IGP is a knee-jerk reaction. Today is the 15th of June. You are telling the police, the bank, that if they don't get bullion vans by the end of this month, you will not allow your police to be with them. Let us assume that the banks are going to import those armored vehicles. How long would it take them to import them, clear them from the port? It's not realistic. When the IGP talked about the 4,500 bulletproof vests, where are they? Have we seen them? Have they been distributed? Have we imported them?
They are in the system. But they may not be enough for all the police officers.
But they should be enough for the special cases like this.
And so if you cannot even provide bulletproof vests for station police officers at banks, those escorting bullion vans, and our traffic police officers, who do you provide it for? It's not enough for someone to say that we have imported, we have given the police this number of bulletproof vests.
You see, the reason why I kept quiet, and the question will come to both of you.
Okay.
And it may sound very controversial, but I'll go with it.
Okay.
The reason why I kept quiet when you try to zero in on how the political parties manipulate the security agencies is that we have seen videos of either they are national security operatives or fake national security operatives in bulletproof vests.
Exactly.
And security analysts have raised several concerns that we use the state's name to import some of these things,
and then we
give them to people we want to use for our operations. That is where the question comes in as to whether the officer in charge, the station officer who was written to by the bank, that we are requesting for an officer to help us move money from one location to the other. Are we saying that that police station don't have at least one bulletproof vest?
Yes.
And are we saying that they don't have weapons, they don't have helmets? You see, in all this, the president should be speaking now. That's a message somebody has sent to me. I would do. What's your opinion on this? I'll come to you.
Look, as we all agreed, the responsibility, the security of this country should be the responsibility of the president. And president has people in charge to ensure security of this country. It is also him that if those people are not performing, he should fire them. Look, we have national security, we have national security coordinator, we have interior minister. All these people are there. Apart from that, we have defense minister who is a backup, who, when there's problem in internal security, the military can come in. So these are the people who should be in charge of our security. And if we cannot, all these people cannot find solution to our security problems, then there's a problem. The president should be looking at them. Look, what president should be looking at, how do you tax? You should be taxing these people that henceforth there should be some curtailment of this violent crime that is happening. Look, there was a time in Ashanti region, I think President Kufuor's era, when there was violent crime in Ashanti region. And the commander then, I've forgotten the name.
Kofi Boakye.
I think before, Kofi Boakye was one of them, but even after Kofi Boakye, somebody was there. Look, they faced the armed robbers head on. It was like shootout between police and eventually, look, it was like shoot at sight. Eventually, Kumasi became peaceful. What is happening in Accra now and throughout the country needs drastic action. And the president should be speaking to his security chiefs. Like, look, if this thing continues in this country, we are not going to have peace here. And therefore, I am giving you this period of time to fight this crime. If they are not performing, they should be fired.
Is that enough? Some say that Ghanaians are living in fear. We know that a woman was shot in Kumasi just some few days ago. They are saying she's the wife of a gentleman who was seen counting dollars, who was the driver of a state official, is it KK Sapon or something? I'm sure you saw that viral video.
Yesterday, I heard that even that driver is dead or something.
The publication is that she's the wife of that woman. I don't know if it is true or not. But the police in Kumasi are saying that they are not ruling out contract killing. Just recently, a teacher in Cape Coast, a good friend of mine, was killed. He had just gone for a training for an immigration officer. He just arrived at his home. He's somebody, sometimes when I go to Cape Coast, I sleep in his house. I don't just visit, I sleep there.
He was shot in his car.
At home, And we are aware of several related crimes. Some are saying because of the fight against illegal mining and because the people are well armed, if they can't operate there, they will go elsewhere. People are closing their shops early, filling stations feel threatened, and so on and so forth. Should the president be speaking to the country to assure us of a blueprint that is adopting, or we should let it be as it is?
Now, when Mr. Audu was speaking, he talked about NDC, MPP, and both engaged in this politics of our national security. You see, when the NDC was in power, we were called out for the wrong things that we're doing. And that's what happens when people want to play smart. You know, any times somebody who is affiliated to the MPP is disappointed in the MPP, they say, oh, both parties are the same. Both parties are not in government. We are speaking to an issue today. There's a government in place. No. You see, when you see an MPP person who is so much disappointed in the government itself. Now he goes like, yeah, what is happening is wrong. But
right, so if I'm able to say that, so I should not be concerned about the security of this country. Mine is not about whether I'm disappointed with government. I'm concerned about the security of this country, and you should be concerned too.
I am. That's why
you should not politicize it.
That's why. Oh, you see, on the 7th of December,
yes,
Ghanaians queued to vote for a president and MPs. That president appointed an IGP. Okay. And so when we have a security lapse, and we point fingers to the IGP and the president, we are not being wrong.
Okay.
When we're in power, we're called out for all the wrong things.
Oh, and perhaps
put it out.
Solutions.
Today, there's a government in place, and so we should stop that.
Proper solutions.
That equalization. The NDC was too deep. No. There's a government in place. We must hold them accountable.
I agree.
What do you expect?
I agree.
You see, you just talked about a series of murders. that you can liken to some contract killings. Even online drivers, these Uber and Bolt drivers, they have spoken on several occasions that their jobs, especially in the night, is not safe. Mobile money vendors, people have finished university and all that they can do because we have very high levels of unemployment, is to find some small money and do mobile money vending. They have come under attack. Mobile money vendors didn't start today. Online driving didn't start today. But it is only in this time that we hear them speak of violent crimes against them.
Wow.
Look, the president, I can assure you, would either not speak on this matter. If in the unlikely event he does, he is going to rather blame the opposition. I'm telling you, at the least opportunity, why? The president was in Kumasi.
Clairvoyance.
The president was in Kumasi with his vice president, broke all the COVID laws that he himself passed. We spoke about it. Have you heard it? Have you heard on it? He will not speak to those issues.
Okay, so
we went through an elections. 8 people lost their lives up to now. He will speak about those issues. Those are not the issues that bother President Akufo-Addo. No. Watch him very well. Those are not the issues that bother him as a president.
He may disappoint you. There's a school of thought that when these things happen and you don't hear the highest, or maybe, I don't know how to frame this, but the biggest personality, let me use this for lack of the appropriate word, of the land, is speaking to it and giving the people hope. But you hear him speaking readily to related issues outside the country. It makes the people feel like they don't have a father who really cares for them.
But that's a wrong and misdirected view. Look, I have said that the president is in charge of national security. He's in charge of security of this country, and he will address the issues of national security.
But for now, he has failed.
You see, I have said that killings in this country did not start today.
Oh yeah, that is true.
And it is not, and I mentioned periods that there have been violent crime in this country, we'll be able to manage it. And this one will manage. Look, he's talking here. In 2015, in Kwanta North MCE, people followed him, he got to his home, they shot him, killed in his house. Up to now, we have not found the killers of that crime. Our own colleague in 2015, Abanga, he's called Abanga, he used to report for Peace FM. He was shot at a restaurant. Broad daylight. I think
in the Ashanti region.
In Ashanti region. Up to now, we have not found the killers. Our own, another colleague, Ahmed Swali, was also shot recently. Broad daylight. We have not found the killers. So these things have been happening over the years. That's why I'm saying that there must be a security strategy. We have just learned national security strategy. How do we implement that strategy to ensure the security and peace of this country? That's what we should be looking at. When myself and my brother come on this show, we should be giving suggestions how we fight the security of this country.
That's why I said we are graduating the conversation. Now, the first leg is about the experiences of other countries.
Yes.
Security analysts have severally warned that if you look at Sierra Leone, you look at Liberia, you look at some of these countries with rich mineral resources, Democratic Republic of Congo, and you look at how crime metamorphosed into the crimes that led to mass killings, and then you look at Nigeria next door, and you look at how Boko Haram started with people armed and violence turning from armed robbery to kidnapping, to attacks of institutions and so on. We may be getting there if we don't step authority now. Do you subscribe with that?
Look, that's why I suggest that. Look, we should be up and doing in issues of security. Look, we should have, we have a lot of brilliant graduates that have come out of school, they don't have jobs to do. Look, we should employ these people, train them in intelligence, put them into the system, put them into communities. These people move there, they work with the sophisticated...
But somebody just sent me a message that it nearly escaped me that people pay millions to get recruitment into the service. And so the right people that may be chosen and trained for the job miss it. And that's where we are.
You see, we have, look, let me agree that we have a rotten system. We have a rotten system that is, look, my brother would think that it just happened a few years ago. It's a legacy challenge that we have in this country. Issues about employment in this country, how, even if you are a female, how you get harassed before you get jobs. If you are somebody who is not well connected, how you have to pay your way through to get jobs. That is a legacy challenge.
Are we getting closer to Nigeria? May, God forbid, could this escalate into what happened in
I have talked about cross-border crime. And if we don't take that, we might have a spillover of what is happening in our neighboring country. That's why we need to act now. I am saying that without any political lens or something, we should be looking at, I have talked about brilliant students who are coming out of our universities. We should stop this recruitment of party foot soldiers into security. Let's look at them, take the brilliant chaps, train them, and put them into our communities, be intelligence, in part of the intelligence of this country, security architecture of this country, for them to be able to even monitor movement of people with the sophisticated gadgets, monitor movement of people, the activities of people and all that. And they will report to a system, security architecture, that they will report. There's a change of reportage that will be ahead of these criminals. If we don't do that and we'll come out, anytime there is a violent crime, we'll come and sit on TV and talk. This has been happening over the years, and there's no...
We are walking into the security document to wrap up on this conversation and move on to another topic, which I've seen some reactions. Some analysts say that there must be stakeholder engagement to ensure that that document is not manipulated to the advantage of any regime. National Security has also spoken recently when it did an assessment of public perception about the Electoral Commission and the threat the country may face if it is not managed. And in there, it said that recruitment into the Ghana Police Service must be reviewed again, which syncs with the recommendation he has made. Do we think that after all these lessons and how people are talking now, we may want to take advantage of the national security document and see a better way of managing security across board?
You see, let me state that I will not be engaged in extreme partisanship on such a matter, but I'll call a spade and not a big spoon. Now, I'm not saying that violent crime started only under this regime, or armed robbery started under this regime. It has been with us. It is as old as man himself. But as far as Ghana is concerned, the levels of violent crime that we are seeing in Ghana today is unprecedented, at least under the Fourth Republic.
Wow.
Oh, yes, it's true. Oh, it's true. Even the Ghana police...
We may have to come here one day with the statistics.
Even the Ghana police reports itself...
If we want us to engage in that exercise, we'll come here.
You see, when I
I'm quiet.
When I speak,
go ahead,
interject, you see, I should be a gentleman. So I'm not pretending that it is a new phenomenon. It's been there. But the levels that we are seeing today, the number of robberies during the day, robberies very close to security installations, the number of murders that can be described as contract killings is on the increase. And we are all part of the problem. Let us speak to the issue as they are. Let us call out those who are responsible to act and act well.
I agree.
And we should not be engaged in speaking for parties that we belong to, parties that we sympathize with. You see, well, you might think I'm being specific to you.
Yes, you are.
But the fact of the matter...
But I've been objecting that President should call his security chiefs to order and give them timelines to solve this problem.
And you talked about the national security document that was launched. You see, to develop such a document, national security document, if you are not doing a document that would only last for your tenure of office, and you would want that document to see us through the foreseeable time, you should be engaging other political actors from the other side. It is very, very important. Look, in this country, we have some security experts who, of course, are aligned to other political parties other than the MPP. Why? There was a national security minister under, a coordinator under President Mahama and President Mills. They are still alive. Have they been engaged? Have they gotten their inputs? We are developing a national security document for Ghana. Involve all other stakeholders. When you do that, you know what it brings on board. The document would radiate confidence and trust. People would believe in it. They would work with it. But when you do a document, I haven't read that document, I must admit.
I'll come to that.
You see? But when you do a document by yourselves and you go ahead to launch it, you need the buy-in of not just other stakeholders, even the citizenry. How have they been carried along in developing that document? These are all in. Look, criminals, when they come after me, will not come after me because I'm NDC or MPP. Yeah. When I'm driving home in the night and they come after me, my party ID card will not save me. And so when we speak to these issues, we speak to these issues because we are Ghanaians. We speak to these issues because we believe that the state has a responsibility. In fact, it is a constitutional provision that the state should protect lives and properties. If we see state institutions failing, if we begin to see that day in, day out, we continuously politicize our security issues, that must be worrying. You just talked about the issues of recruitment. Look, you won't believe it. You won't believe it. I was in the 7th Parliament. There was a day I was traveling to Tamale and I was at the airport. I met these two, the former deputy minister for defense. I've forgotten his name. Very interesting person, with another NPP MP, and there was this rumor going around in Parliament that our colleagues who were on the majority side were asked to submit 2 names each for recruitment into the Ghana Police Service. Of course, then at the airport, what the MP told the deputy minister was that, oh, my guy hasn't got English, so Ude Fabra. My tree is bad, but as for Ude Fabra, I know what it means. Do you get it? Yes, I got shocked. And so these guys that are party boys that we get into police service, into the Ghana Armed Forces, it's about Ghana. These are people when you deploy on an election day, they take actions based on their political allegiance and not
for the state.
Not for the state.
Now, let me take I will do submission. So we're looking at the document and the recommendation, because if security analysts are calling for collective input, it presupposes that the consultation may not have been wide enough.
No, it has. It's been wide. I think we should look at the document. I'm happy that Honorable has come back to my point that they actually recruit party foot soldiers into our security, and it's a fact. Now, on this document, it has the widest consultation, the broadest consultation. Political NDC involved, all the security experts, the Professor Eni, all of them were involved in preparation of this. In fact, this document, I understand, was even written by, even though it was under the auspices of national security, it was written by the security experts. And in fact, NDC, whose ranking member is former Deputy Interior Minister Agalga,
James Agalga,
spoke to this, and that they were all involved in the preparation of this document, and that it is a lasting document that when NDC comes to power, they will continue to implement it. So it is a broad-based national document that has been prepared by all stakeholders. That is agreed.
Do you know what happened to this stakeholder engagement that led to the vigilantism bill?
Yes.
And why it should be implemented, and whether it has been implemented or was implemented?
No, these are two different things.
The reason why I'm saying so is that, you see, the reason why I'm saying so is that it became a national document.
No.
And the conflict is about how that document is used as a tool for the benefit of all.
You are comparing oranges with apples. In this particular strategy, new document that was recently launched, I said it had the engagement of all political parties, all the stakeholders, security experts, and that prepared it. In the other one that you referred to, the vigilante bill, there were massive disagreements on what should be in that document and all that. You remember at a point, NDC boycott, they thought that the document was not fair to them.
Let me just correct you here.
Okay.
What we initially resisted in signing was the peace agreement that was prepared by the Peace Council that we initially said we won't sign because we wanted the Electoral Commission to sign onto it.
Yes.
Because we thought they were very key stakeholders, very important that their signature was very, very important.
Yes.
But we finally ended up signing even though
Yes.
the EC didn't sign.
Yes.
But on the issue of the Vigilantism Act,
Yes. Yes.
both parties passed the act in Parliament.
Yes.
The question he raises is
Yes.
no. The question he raises is
no, I totally understand whether they. I understand that was. But I was in Parliament when that bill was passed.
Have we been able to work that act?
What I'm saying,
commitments.
I was the import of the question.
You have not even allowed me to answer the question.
I would do you wrap up and we'll move on to when I would do finishes. We are moving on to another topic.
Okay.
The question, the import of the question is that this is a document. All of us agreed that it is a document collectively we have agreed.
Yes.
That is one leg.
Yes.
The other leg is how we ensure that that document is implemented to the letter.
Yes.
Exactly.
That is embedded in the question I was asking towards the same national security document that all of us have
commitment to
documents.
Yes.
And how do we ensure?
And I'm saying that, look, what my argument, my comment submission was that in that vigilante this thing, look, before the bill went to, I followed the process, even the passage and all that, and the contributions people like Honorable Inus Afuseni made to pass it off that bill. I totally agree, but there were serious disagreements prior to them passing the bill.
But the bill was eventually passed.
Eventually passed. But I'm saying that
And
bill
that
did not
became a
have.
document
Look,
binding
the
on
bill that you talked about.
But it could have been passed.
Let me tell you. That bill that you talked about. I again tell security experts that there were problems with that bill, including Professor Enin again.
I think there are no problems with this one.
Oh,
that they have just
I have heard comments about this bill. I think you should read the document. You should read, both of you should get the document and read it and see the involvement of these security experts. The vigilante thing that you talked about, I think even the security experts talk about that,
so
things that should have been included.
Let's move on to another topic.
In all, it's about implementation. I agree with you that, look, if you have a document, you don't implement it. It's like, it's as useless as anything.
So,
it's about implementation.
Mohammed Aziz is the former MP for Myong, and Audu Mahama is the chief editor of the custodian newspaper. Custodian newspaper.
Yes.
We are moving into the census. The census night is June 27. We know the enumerators are going around. They are marking buildings, structures, asking a few questions, preparing the minds of the public ahead of the census. But yesterday, a group, the African Center for Fulani Affairs and Security, they are raising some concerns. According to them, the Fulani ethnic group has been captured under the all other tribes category in the questionnaire to be used for the exercise, which will commence on June 7, 2021. Yesterday, they held a press conference. I'm also aware that just some few weeks ago, the Ewe group also issued a statement, and they were very specific that they had taken away some particular tribes from the enlistment, and they felt that it was inappropriate, and Ghana Statistical Service must take care of this. Now, while we approach the census night, what do you think the Ghana Statistical Service should be doing now so that it takes away that suspicion of an element in the state action to deliberately take out some minority groups?
It is a big challenge. And let me add that even the religious aspect, Ahmadis have also issued a statement that they've also been listed as
non-Muslims.
Non-Muslim, other religions.
Other religions,
yes.
Not exactly as
not
Muslims.
as Muslims. And they are things that they are full Muslims. They should be captured under Muslims. And they even directed their members to, when the census people come, they should classify themselves as Muslims. But if you have a questionnaire that says that somebody is not a Muslim, and the person, and you have Ahmadis there, and the people, all the Ahmadis people say they are Muslim, it means that you may have 0 in that column. And that's why even the form that we have should be looked at. We should look at the form. But coming to the specific tribes,
right?
We have, I don't know the number of tribes that we have in this country. And normally what Ghana Statistical Service has been doing over the year is to group some of the ethnic groups into categories. For instance, my tribe has never been on a distance. I think we are captured under, I've forgotten, but no, we are because I am a Sisala. I'm a Sisala, but you've never seen Sisala people captured. We are captured under Gurushi.
Sisala has a larger.
We have a larger population.
We
have a larger population, yet we have never been captured. In a sense, so we are grouped under Gurushi something. So when you see that, you don't even see the number of Sisalas that you have in this country. That's why it's just like other the Ewe ethnic group and other people, the Fulani people are talking about. But the problem is, I think the National Statistical Service has a challenge. If you are going to list all these ethnic groups, but I think it's very important. The list will be so large. How will the format be? What kind of questionnaire? How will you prepare that questionnaire to be able to capture all these individual tribes? That's a challenge. But in order not to leave out these tribes, how do we, even under the categories, how do we put them that even under the Gurushi thing that I talk about, that Sisales are put on and other tribes, how do we know that these people are actually Sisales? Because census is very, very important for development. We have specific area for only Sisales who are there. We have specific areas for the Fulanis that you talk about, the West and all that. So how do you get their population sizes to be able to plan for development?
See,
that's all census.
The reason why the elements raising the protests are speaking now is because of some incidents in the recent past.
Yes.
Where they were categorized as non-Ghanaians. And so if a national database is being put together and that database is not correctly acknowledging those tribes, it raises the suspicion of a continuing agenda to gradually wipe them out of the national document about groups, minus tribes, and so on. Aziz, I don't know your response. Maybe
I don't know. Let me just
a quick rebuttal and I'll come to you.
This thing about this person is not a Ghanaian or not. We know what Constitution talks about who a Ghanaian is. Our laws of this country, who is a Ghanaian.
But you were in this country in 2020 registration exercise conducted by both, and I see it as deliberate between the NIA, Professor Tefo's NIA today, and the EC, where they deliberately use this tool to prevent people from going ahead to register as Ghanaians.
I have not seen that. I have not seen that in this country. No
Ghanaian
was prevented in registering in this country.
Okay.
No Ghanaian.
You will speak to the question when I finish. And we all know what happened before the 2020 election.
Yes.
And then we are moving on to population and housing census.
Yes.
And the elements are coming from the same groups because we have several groups in this country, apart from religion. And if these same groups are raising these questions, it is something that must be of interest to anybody.
Look, originally in this country, everybody knows that originally we didn't have houses being Ghanaians. Originally, we didn't have Moses being Ghanaians. We didn't have a lot of tribes being
Since
Ghanaians.
when?
Oh, probably before independence. But after independence.
Yeah, so we are talking about Ghana.
Exactly. That's what I'm coming to. That's why I'm saying that it is very difficult to say that somebody is a non-Ghanaian. That's precisely what I'm coming to. Because Constitution defines, at least 1992 Constitution defines who a Ghanaian is. How you become a Ghanaian and all that. It's very clear. We have these Fulani people. There are many Fulanis who are, in fact, Fulanis, people confuse them. Even Fulanis who have different, you have the Hausa Fulanis and the nomads. All of them have been, many of them have become Ghanaians. At least they were born here, their parents were born here and all that. Even their great-great-grandfathers, some of them were born here. We have, I don't want to go there. They are all born here. And therefore, it is very difficult for somebody to say that because we have Fulani in Niger, Fulani in Nigeria, Fulani in Ghana cannot be a Ghanaian. That would be unfair. You understand? In fact, people have, our second lady.
Yes, but
they are actually Hausa Fulani.
Yeah.
They were all born. Their great grandmother were born in Sabozongo. The same place I was also born. Sabozongo here in Accra near Kaneshi. They were all born there, great grandfathers. They are also Hausa Fulanis. You have people like Mala Mekano. You know him very well. They are all Hausa Fulani. Mala Mekano Prang. All of them. They are all Hausa Fulani, many of them.
Okay, so let me take.
So that should not be a problem.
Mohammed,
at all.
What do you recommend? Because we have 2 weeks
nationalist.
to go.
Ghanaian nationalist.
We have 2 weeks to go, and enumerators may have difficulty managing this challenge when people want to be emphatic and ensure that the right things are done on the ground. And so, what do you recommend that Ghana Statistical Service should be looking at going forward?
They should be taking all these concerns on board. You know, it is a national exercise. Census is such a critical exercise that if we need to plan as a country for development, at least we need to know the population of this country and the various segments of Ghanaians that we have, either on ethnic lines, on religious lines, and any other issue that we find very necessary. So they must take all those concerns on board. They should take the concerns of the Fulanis on board. They should take the concerns of the West on board and understand and appreciate where Audi is coming from when he talked about we can have almost all ethnic groups in Ghana. I mean, I'm sure we have well over 60 ethnic groups in this country. We may not be able to list all of them, but the very dominant ones should be recognized and recognized properly. As for who is a Ghanaian or who is not a Ghanaian, I don't think that the answer lies in the population and housing census document. The answer lies in our constitution and the laws that we have passed relating to those issues. So I want to believe that that issue we should not overhype it. Of course, if I'm a Dogomba, I'd want to be recognized as a Dogomba in that document,
of course,
and not any other tribe. But you cannot use that document to challenge my citizenship, because that document doesn't define who a Ghanaian is or who is not a Ghanaian.
But it's a place for it.
For what?
For
the forms.
Nationality.
Exactly.
Nationality.
Exactly.
And that should not be used to deny people.
Yes, and so, but you see, if for instance you don't recognize, for instance, Fulani as a tribe within Ghana, the tendency to assume that because your tribe is not recognized in Ghana, you are automatically not a Ghanaian.
And that is what
could arise.
The sentiment,
that could arise,
and that's what I was highlighting.
But you see, you could be a tribe that is not recognized in Ghana and yet born in Ghana, and so those are the intricacies that we must be very careful about. I would request the Ghana Statistical Service, right, to take all those concerns on board. They should not just sweep them under the carpet. Very, very important. My only worry, and again, at the risk of being accused of politicizing it,
he will go there. He's a politician.
You see, well, today it is one party in government. Tomorrow it will be another.
Yes.
I've had complaints. Even yesterday, one guy called me. I would not want to mention his name, because apparently they did the exam. You know, they went for training. They did some exam of a sort. He called and said, "Oh, honorable, I got some 90% too. My name has been taken off. Almost all those who scored below me 50, 60
are in.
And you know, we live in."
For what exam?
I'm sure they were given some training, and they were made to write some tests to see if they could do the job and do it well. And so now this is a very small community. They know themselves. Mr. A knows that Mr. B is an MPP person, Mr. C is a CPP person. They know themselves. So when they begin to see that, me have you taken off, I mean this have you taken off, then they began raising those questions. But what capacity do I have? Apart from placing a call to those who matter today, those who wield the power today. And sometimes when we are lucky, they will intervene, sometimes too. And so such matters, just a job for a day or two, that they will earn some small stipend to go and also take care of themselves. That one to practically scam.
Okay, hold it there. Let me read the first message. He said that the thing is in your blood, so you always land with a little of the blood pouring. So you've landed. Now this one says, "Good morning. I'm Eric from Achim Ayerebi. Thank you. Good morning for the morning update. I really enjoy the show. You are Eric from Achim Ayerebi. Is that Achim Ayerebi? Is that the pronunciation? Now, I think it is time we allow some big military men to join bullion van with the police while going on duties, or full convoy should be provided for them. The rate of killing innocent souls by the armed robbers is too much. Greetings from Alhaji Labaran Yakubu Bari and Salam Mustafa Inshraba Anelka sent this text message. This one says, good morning, host. I can't operate my business around 6 to 7 p.m. The party members' recruitment is serious in this regime. Let's stop the ostrich belief. You didn't add your name. This text message says, the bulletproof jackets are meant for demonstrations and not bullion van escorts. Zach is saying this.
Oh, how?
Maybe they've seen Kwesi Fore and his team wearing a lot of them when they want to stop protest.
The Greater Accra Regional
Operations Officer. Now, I think we are now reaping the bad seeds we sowed. The unemployment rate is mainly the cause of all these worrying behavior. People are rather emboldened if the perpetrators are not punished, and human parts are being traded in Kumasi as reported by various newspapers today. The system has been broken and need to be fixed. A younger officer has been killed without any justification. I don't careism attitude by the president must end now. My regards to Dr. Nanama Brown Kluche. That's the text message. Stephen sent this. So has the Vice President Baumia supplied the bulletproof accoutrement to the police as he promised? It is easier said than done. We thank you for lying to us. Shameful. Stephen Kwabenya sent this text message. State insecurity has become the order of the day. No name. He just sent the message. This one says, okay, this one is a Bible verse. I'm sure you just dropped it. Mustafa Loa Manya says, the successfully incompetent Nana Akufo-Addo government has failed woefully. Even building toilet facilities has become a problem, and it goes on and on. And Boshaba says, Ghanaians should expect good things from President Nana Akufo-Addo in his second term because he has good policies that will help the country to move forward. My regards to Honorable Yao Osei Boabing, Esnafo North MCE, and Evans Opoku Bobie. I'll read one more and then we wrap up. This one is from Zachariah. We don't need any flimsy excuses, Nana Akufo-Addo. We all know your broken promises and we are asking you to fix them. Insecurity. So that's the text message. We have 5 minutes more. Sorry, my phone rang. I've broken the law. I'll be fined by my producers.
Oh, but you are
2
safe.
Minutes, wrap up.
Big man, you won't find you.
You are safe. Even the president break laws and he goes cost free.
You have 2 minutes, wrap up, say. If you won't talk, I will end the program.
Look, if I listen to my brother,
Abuajo will kill me today. All right.
Eric.
Yeah.
I think that as we have all agreed that we should take issues of national security serious in this country, all of us should we will get involved in our national security, but particularly those who are in charge of our security should be up and doing. I've said, first of all, I'm going to say this again. Look, until MPP and NDC stop recruiting party foot soldiers who cannot, for God's sake, people who cannot read and write into our security, this issue of national security will continue.
There's a government in place. MPP is in power. Speak to them. Say NDC, MPP are in power.
Wrap up in a minute.
Oh, I'm not finished. You see, in fact, MPP is now in power. I know NDC will come to power. That's why I'm saying that MPP and NDC.
Let's do the right
because
thing
let's do it
now
right and keep going. Because I know NDC will come one day.
May God accept your prayer.
In fact, even if it is 20 years, you will come.
20 years. Next year to come.
See, I like the coloration. If it is 20 years, that one you go on almost.
By all means, MPP will not
they can smell it. They can smell it in private chat. They will tell you.
I don't have private chat with you.
Tell you.
I don't.
Private chat.
So honorable. To conclude, let's say that. Look, let's take issues of national security seriously. And President Akufo-Addo, please get your national security coordinator, national security interior minister up and doing, so that they'll solve this security threat that is creeping into the
Let
country.
me give you 1 minute. Give me 2 minutes to do something here. 1 minute.
All that I would say is that national security should be a priority for every government. As a party in opposition, and I'm sure I can also make that pledge on behalf of the caucus, even though I'm not more a member of the caucus, that will support this government in the area of national security. But we would expect them to be candid and honest with us. We would expect them to open opportunities to every young Ghanaian who is interested in joining our security institutions. How on earth would you advertise for recruitment in 2017? You did that recruitment and you closed it. Then you did recruitment in 2018, 2019, and 2020 without any advertisement. And when you are questioned, you say, oh, but I did advertisements in 2017.
Okay.
So let's give you my own experience.
Let's open the opportunity
some few years ago.
for every young Ghanaian.
In 1996, my own experience, I would have given it.
I'm telling you, you don't do advertisement in 2017. Come and do all this. So that's even you can use the 10 years back advertisement
your
to
time is up.
recruit.
All right. So that's how we end the show. But I would say that you take your personal security serious. Make your neighbors your security men. There are people who don't have respect for their neighbors. And so the neighbors also don't show interest in their movement. And so if something is happening in your neighborhood or in your home, they don't care. And so I would want to say that be nice to your neighbors and let them be your security men. And you also become their security men. By so doing, you will be a macrocosm. I'm borrowing President Atamos's word of community policing. Yesterday, President Kufuor provoked the system when he sought to suggest that Ghana's problem was because of Kwame Nkrumah's speed. I've seen a long list that is going around. University of Cape Coast, Ghana National College, FI.
Old age.
Look, Nkrumah
He's old. He's old.
And so nobody should provoke the system because it looks like Ghanaians agree.
Don't say that.
In fact,
he's not old.
Tomorrow I'll read the list of many things I never knew Nkrumah did. That's how we are ending the show. My name is Erika Hianyo. Nana Benasewa will join me tomorrow morning. And on behalf of the production team, Xyz TV, everybody, TVXYZ, thank you. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. TVXYZ is the name. Bye for now.